All right, let's jump into it. So, of course, the first step in initiating an FATADS is apply power to the system. So in this case, I did not have a power supply, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. You're just gonna connect it to any source of power. Make sure the FATADS keeps running and is powered on. Of course, you need it on to utilize it. And now it's just starting up. And step 2, a real important step, is to make sure you log in properly. As you can see, this password and username is very important, and make sure you do not mess up. You don't want to mess up the first time, because you could potentially put it at risk of locking the FATADS box, which is a real burden and could possibly be endanger the mission. So I just put the username and the password. Making sure to go slow, go steady, everything is right. All right, now we move on to the third step, verify time. So there's 2 ways you can verify to the bottom right of the computer once you log in, actually, and just take it from there. Change time zone, change time, and make sure it matches your unit SOP at whatever time you want to have. As well as you can go into the control panel and look up date and time. It works both ways. Here I'm just in the control panel. And right, so the fourth step is to verify LAN, TCP, and IP settings. I did not put that in here because I failed to do it. So it's very easy. You just go into control panel, go to network sharing data, and you go into network, and you will find the IP address, and just gotta match it with the unit SOP. And this is what I'm showing you is how to. And next step is going to be to activate FATADS after you restore the database. FATADS is just going to be an icon that's going to be in the apps and in the main screen. Just double click on it and start and set as unit. Now as FATADS starts up, we will move into verifying an FATADS database. So the first step is verify the software version, which should have already been done. And when we were messing with the control panel, we go to software settings, verify everything matches with our unit SOP, and we're good to go. The second step would be the initialization data, which just would be in your unit SOP. Your startup unit, as you could see there, make sure your unit ID is proper and unit role, and you're good to go. Just activate it and wait till FATADS starts up. And the third step would be verifying map data. So this is how the map would look like. I'm trying to expand the window, but somehow it doesn't want to work. It does not matter either way. I can still see the map. So as you can see, it's could change it plus or minus from a 250,000 1 to 250,000 map scale to 1 in 50,000, and that's our set unit right there. That's our units that we utilize. That's the gun, the FTC, everything that has to do with our artillery battery. And now we will look at the different types of maps that there are. We'll look at, I've only had experience with one, which is a UTG. I've heard of Mercator, which is a good one. So moving into steps 4, verify communication data. So we will click on this telephone looking item on the top left of the FA test menu. And as you can see, we verify the network, verify everything matches our SOP, send out test messages, and just verify that the network is up and running, because it is a very important tool as we receive data through there. And now we'll move to geometry data, which is on the upper side of the spectrum on the geometry workspace. And as we are here in the geometry workspace, we will see we can see which geometries are already set in the map. And since there's no database, there's nothing inside the FATEDs. So what I have an idea is on creating one, so you guys can see how I find it and how it looks like inside the unit workspace. I will be creating one now. I'm gonna name it Geometry 1 just for the sake of it. And remember to always make it effective time and expiration time to make sure that unit just doesn't disappear out of the blue. And I'm gonna make it a rendezvous point. Just click anywhere on the map and click on the top, the binoculars, and that's how you find the unit. All right. Oh, right there. Click on the unit, click on the geometry and the binoculars, and perfect. Moving into step 6, and we will go into unit workspace, and we'll verify that our friendlies and enemies are there in accordance with the SOP. And so you good to go. And again, we'll be moving into unit workspace, friendly, and click on one gun. This is 2-1, and we will verify the MBEV data is up to date and current with the SOP or anything have to do with. And on the 8th step, we'll verify data distribution criteria. So my camera's a little bit crooked, but you go into System, Preferences, and there you move into data distribution, double click on it, and there you'll have everything you will need for matching. All right, step number 9, verify commander's guidance. So we go into guidance workspace. Since we started up as an FA unit, a field artillery unit, we go to FA preference table, FS system, and any other place where the commander may want restrictions according to the SOP they set in place. Step number 10, go into MET and verifying it meets as well the unit SOP. MET is very important because it updates very frequently, and especially when there's bad weather. So we'll go into MET CM, and make sure everything is good to go, and you're solid. Step number 11, we will verify survey control point. So we go into geometry, and the second option will be survey control point. And from there we can request, or in this case, verify with our SOP as well that it matches. And lastly, we go into systems and system preferences. In order to verify fire mission processing, we go to mission processing and we check on our SOP, make sure everything's good to go, and that will conclude verifying FATED's database tasks. Any questions?